Welcome to the 𝐂𝐫𝐢𝐬𝐬 podcast, Navigating the Crisis. The COVID-19 pandemic strongly impacts many companies. Some of them are already in crisis mode. In this podcast, we want to explore what managers and decision makers can do now to navigate this disruption. Today, we are talking to Dr. Gunnar Binnewies, Head of Restructuring and Turnaround at 𝐂𝐫𝐢𝐬𝐬. He will give us some advice on how company leaders should deal with this special situation. Gunnar, what are the key levers in organizations that managers should focus on right now?
The first and most important thing for company leaders now is to gain a clear picture on the immediate and midterm business impacts, as well as their state of liquidity. This is the basis for all further operational and financial measures. And only this way you can make sure that your critical operations will still be running. It is of major importance to uphold liquidity, internally by identifying potential to reduce cash out, and, if necessary, externally by applying for government support, renegotiating with corporate banks, or finding alternative funders. And don't forget, a crisis can also be leveraged for strategic M&A moves or the adaptation and optimization of the business model.
And what would be the very first measure that every company facing disruption should take now, regardless of its very individual situation?
I recommend every company to set up a virtual war room. This is the execution engine for all measures. With the right governance, it speeds up the decision process immensely. Taking into account the current rapid developments, especially in the regulatory field, it is key to always be one step ahead and to be able to act immediately. The War Room team is securing that by daily tracking and forecasting developments and the effects of initiated measures. It will also help to ensure a centralized communication flow to all stakeholders, especially the employees.
Now we established the most important measures for mastering the crisis. But what action should be taken when the hardest times are over?
As I mentioned before, the crisis can provide important insights for adapting a company's business model. To take advantage of this and to prepare for the time beyond the crisis, you should first take a close look at how your customers' needs and behavior have changed and still will change. This principle will guide you, secondly, in reviewing your product portfolio or service offering. As a last step, you have to shift your operating model accordingly. To learn more on how this is done most effectively, I invite you to visit goetzpartners.com/crisis-taskforce and download our COVID-19 action roadmap.